I put the seat up so Jake has more room, because we're picking up Finn and Jake because he doesn't have the car today. Hello, Jakey. All my gear is here because we went diving last night and I just left it here to dry. Critter hunter. Go pee, Jake. No peeing in the car. You got everything?
Pee in the car, Jake. Pee in the car.
It's all good?
Yep.
You wanna put it back here or no?
I'll just hold it. Welcome to the critter getter.
Jake approves.
Jake approves. He loves it, don't you? What are you doing?
I can see him in the mirror. Where you been, Tim?
Home.
I didn't think you dive anymore.
Yeah, I still do. I just need a little time off.
Yeah, you got sick, huh?
Yep, back now. Did a test dive yesterday, and I'm still here, so.
That's good.
Yeah, and I heard we were off to Quinoma, so I could not miss today.
Is that? I can't remember what that is.
The tires.
Sorry, Tim, the battery died.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking.
You said it's an awesome critter year?
Yes, it has been such an amazing critter year. We are pretty sure Quinoma should be extra awesome today, but we'll see. I haven't personally been to this site since pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get to from shore, so you need the boat to go there. We're gonna see what's there. So sometimes it's an absolute grand slam. Sometimes it's a regular dive site, which is still pretty cool.
You're from LA?
Yeah, well, I'm from the East Coast, from Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
She's from New York, but I moved to LA for photography, and after 5 years, it was like, I'm ready to go. Come back home to the Philippines.
Oh,
I'm half.
Yeah? Cool.
Well, it's nice here, isn't it?
It's the best.
Nice. Yeah.
The best for pictures.
And
So a lot of you guys been asking what settings I use for the TG6, because that's pretty much what I always use, except for these selfie GoPro ones. And a lot of dudes are using the microscope mode because they think that's the coolest thing about the TG6 instead of TG5. But I think it's not good. It's for amateurs. I think I use aperture priority. It's the big A on the settings, and the aperture priority does just as good focal length, zoom, super macro as the microscope mode. So you might as well do that. Then you have all the manual settings. So I have it in aperture priority, and then I could set the f-stop, whatever, make it darker background, which I like to do. Right now I'm gonna try a different light today. It has a little narrower beam. Normally with wide angle you just want huge beam, or no beam at all, just a huge arc of light. But for macro, I need a snoot even, but I just want a little beam of light, kind of like a ballerina on a stage, just lit up. Only the ballerina, not the rest of the stage, like a spotlight. That's what I want for the critters. So with the f-stop I can make a dark background, whatever. And I'm gonna try to, I don't use the white balance setting because the lighting, unless it's wide angle. You guys seen my Apple Island? Yeah, then the lights won't reach those big reefs. You need the white balance setting every couple meters. It's a pain, but it looks awesome. So lately I think I've been getting lazy and just getting shots, because it's easy to say I have really good footage if it's an awesome subject. So if I'm filming a wonder puss or something really rare, you forget that it's not actually National Geographic quality. It's a wonder puss. It looks awesome. But I'm gonna work on that. I think my last dives, it was way too bright. I wasn't changing the f-stop or everything for every little critter, every depth and lighting, and some of them were just way too bright, washed out, I guess. So I'm gonna I'm gonna work on that today. Even if I don't see anything crazy, I'm gonna find one subject and focus on it and try to get awesome shots, different angles and all that, but try to get the details, the right settings, change it up for every critter. And I don't want you guys to get bored, so I'm also gonna use my measuring stick and show you sizes. Finn actually said I should zoom out and show you how big things are, because even if it's 1 millimeter or 1 centimeter, if it fills the screen, it fills the screen. You guys don't really know how big it is. So I'm gonna zoom out, maybe show my measuring stick and show you how small some of these critters I find are. You guys think I'm obsessed with tiny critters, but that's only because they come in huge varieties. You know, imagine if whale sharks came in the same amount of varieties as nudibranchs. I'd be filming them. All right, we're waiting for Tim. Finn's flying his drone or something. Jake's looking for food, but I think we're gonna get on the boat in a minute. Don't forget the soap. I love it. I don't know about other countries, but Philippines has a dish soap that's a paste instead of the liquid Dawn stuff. I got the liquid Dawn stuff too, but this paste, get a little water on it, it's more like toothpaste. It works so good for defogging. Such a perfect day, no waves. You see Apple Island? Nah, we're going that way. Today's gonna be an awesome day on the Pura Vida boat. We're doing 2 dives at Quinoma and Panabalon, dive sites we haven't hit up yet. So this dive was a little skint on the critters. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff that I could find. It's my goal on every dive to find something new that I haven't filmed before. But when that's not working, I always have the regulars, like these sexy shrimp. Now these sexy shrimp, you guys have seen them in quite a few episodes probably, but sometimes they're called anemone shrimp. And although I do see them around lots of normal anemones, I also see them at feathered sea stars and tube anemones and lots of rock piles and, well, lots of locations really, not just anemones. The reason we call them sexy shrimp is because they like to put their little butts in the air, do a little sexy dance for the camera. So even when I can't find a new critter to show you guys, I do get some practice time on the camera and try to get different angles and get better at my craft. So I can never complain. And when do you get to see such a close-up of these awesome little guys? And here is a little tiny crab riding on the back of a sea star. Now I learned 2 things on this dive. One, this sea star, which is pretty huge, is actually called a cushion star or even a pillow star, which is pretty hilarious because if you look at it, it looks just like a walking pillow. But if you look closely, you see these little tiny shrimp. Now the other thing I learned is that these shrimp are not called emperor shrimp. They're just called sea star shrimp. Kind of an unremarkable name, but either way, a close-up of these guys is awesome. There's not many places you get to see them. Jake is braver than I am.
Jake, no. No jumping.
Dive number 2.
Let's rock and roll.
What's it called?
I have no idea.
Me too. Epic. Dive number 2.
Dive 2.
What's this one called?
Quinoma. That means man-made.
Not woman-made.
Oh, there's a bunch of men that dump those tires down there, of course.
It'd be a lot prettier if women made it.
Yes, then it wouldn't be tires, it would be...
Roses.
Yes, roses.
I don't know. I don't know. So there's a bunch of artificial reef made out of tires.
Yeah, and it's been down there for a really long time, more than 25 years. So
That's
it's
a
got a lot of coral growth and stuff on it. And there's usually a bunch of fish around.
I'm gonna see if there's any tread because my car needs a new tire. Who knows? Maybe there's better tread on those ones.
Yeah, just drive it down there, put them on, and then
No,
drive it back out.
I'll bring it back. I got a bag or something.
That would be a good critter hunter.
Hopefully there's no frogs on there.
Real coral on your tires.
Yeah, I know. There's a frogfish on the side. I think we had too much nitrox. Let's go. So just like on the first dive, on this dive, if I want to find some critters, it's always good to look around the anemones. Anemones around here are pretty awesome. They come in every shape and color you can think of. And in this one, I found a little glass shrimp. These guys are pretty cool and they come in so many different colors and varieties. All of them are kind of clear like this guy, but this one has the little blue highlights, blue and white actually, and you can see a lot of little details. I have no idea how these guys function. You can see the guts on the inside up front, but the rest of the body is like a big muscle. And then I found this little tiny shrimpy. These guys are never really on top of the anemone. Whoa, that's a big claw. Hey, shout out to Southpaws. Look at that huge lefty. Wow. Yeah, these guys are always on the ground under anemones and rocks. They're never on top like the glass shrimp. But they get some camera time as well. You can see they're a little bit different, even though they're kind of opaque. And of course, there's more sexy shrimp on this dive. You know that if I'm filming a lot of common shrimp, that I'm either practicing with the new feature on my TG6 camera, or there's just not a lot of critters around. And here's a common nudie. This is, well, we usually call this a pajama nudie, but in reality there's a whole lot of species of this one particular nudie. So in a different video I'm going to be making a whole episode about nudibranchs. This guy was pretty cool and he was giving me quite a show. In fact, all nudibranch, as you guys know, are a photographer's favorite because they're just so photogenic, so colorful, and so cooperative, which not every fish can say. So even if it's common, I gotta get every angle, of course. And then there's the leaf sheep. This is also a nudibranch, but way smaller. This guy's probably smaller than the antenna on the other one. And now I'm measuring it because you guys have been asking how big things are, and I'd say this guy's about 4 millimeters. Each of those lines is a millimeter, so if you guys are in America, you can just convert millimeters real quick and you'll see how tiny this is. But 4 millimeters is really, really tiny. And now I'm zooming out to show you how small they are. And they're all these little leaves that are just sticking up in the sand everywhere. Yeah, you get the idea. These little tiny things are awesome, and I'm actually on a leaf sheep expedition these days. I feel like finding out how many different species there are. So far, I have filmed 4. And here's the here's the eggs of the leaf sheep. Way too tiny to film in detail, but I think by the last loop, this guy was a little drunk. And here's another species of leaf sheep. This is the second of the day. You can see it's a little bit different coloration and everything than the last one. And like I've said, I'm always on the lookout for different species. I think I've filmed 4 or 5 different ones here in Darwin so far, and I'm not sure how many there actually are, but it's a good start. Then I ran into this little crab. He's so hilarious. Look at him. I don't know if this is an arrowhead crab or what kind of crab this is. I see them kind of often, but always in different colors. This is the first time I seen one that was bright green, and he was next to a leaf of the same color. So I barely found him. But this guy's hilarious. You can see his little eye on the left. If you guys can't see, oh, now he's covering his eye. And his claws and arms on the right. These guys blend in perfectly, and they spend their whole life trying to hide. Yeah, there's so many varieties of crabs around Philippines. It's amazing. And on that same leaf, here's a little tiny skeleton shrimp. These guys are the food for many a fish, including baby frogfish, and you'll see them everywhere during the season. Now we're at the area with the tires. This dive site is known for the artificial reef made out of tires, and as you can see, there's lots of hiding spots. And that's where I found this common green nudie. It looks like he's been in a fight. Looks like he's got a lot of little scars. Even half of his antenna is missing. I wish these guys could tell their story, don't you? And this is a little bit less common of a nudie, but still pretty common. I see it once in a while. And yeah, I just had to film him. He's way more colorful than the last, especially when I get a close-up and see the textures and everything. I think it's kind of funny how one antenna is blurred and the other one's focused. Whoa, look at those butt feathers. They are dancing. Alright, there might be a little bit of a current, but it's still pretty funny. And now he's climbing up my camera. Yes, there is now a Nudie Branch climbing up my lens, and I can't move. These guys are way too delicate to touch, but I can't move the camera now. I have enough shots. I can move on, but there's a freaking slug on my lens. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. If I move, he's probably gonna go flying, and that's not cool. Come on, little guy. Get out of here. On top of that, I just thought of it. He probably left a slime trail on my lens. So, what are we doing here, buddy? Come on. I know you want a close-up, but dang. Alright, he's off. He's off. I can zoom out now. And whoa, look at those butt feathers. That is some crazy action. Those butt feathers are just flying in the wind. Well, current. I guess there's no wind down here. And I'm gonna measure him. Oh no! I forgot, this is when my lights broke. My video light battery died, and right after that, somebody called me over for this giant nudie break, an awesome one that I've never seen, and I had no lights. It looked horrible. So Finn had to hover over me and shine his light so that I could film it, because there's no way I was passing this up. And then I saw a candy crab, and it was the same situation. It was in a little nook and cranny, really hard to get to. I had to wedge in there and film it without touching anything. And Finn had to hover above me and shine his light at this little candy crab while fighting the current. He was literally flapping in the wind, kicking real hard just to stay still, just so I had light. Because there's just no way you can film without light down here. But we haven't seen a candy crab in quite a few dives, and we wanted to film this thing, so thanks to Finn and my friend Tim. They were both helping me with lights. It probably looked ridiculous to anybody watching. Like, I'm on my side filming in the sand while 2 other guys are like hovering and kicking real hard to to stay in place, and yeah, it was hilarious. But after that, I just called it. I didn't want to bother him anymore. My lights are dead. I might as well go up early and end the dive. There's no way to film without lights. It would be horrible colors.